Most gardeners think adding worms will magically fix dead soil. It won't. In fact, if your soil is truly dead, adding worms too early can actually make things worse. And most people never realize why their worms disappear overnight. Here's the problem. Dead soil isn't just low quality. It's biologically inactive. No microbes, no fungal networks, no organic matter breaking down. Worms don't eat soil, they eat the life inside it. So when you drop worms into lifeless dirt, you're basically putting them into a desert with no food. That's why people say, I tried worms and nothing changed. The truth is they skipped the one step that makes worms actually work. Before I even added worms to this soil, I had to fix that exact problem. And one of the easiest ways I do that consistently is by controlling my organic inputs. That's where something like the 4-litre electric composter for kitchen comes in. I use it to turn daily food scraps into a stable, microbe-ready material without dealing with rot, smell or pests. It speeds up the process, so I'm not throwing raw scraps into beds and hoping for the best. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. It's not about convenience, it's about giving soil the kind of input worms actually respond to. Now here's what I actually did, and what happened over the next 7 days shocked even me. So this soil started off completely dead, and I mean lifeless, compacted, pale and dusty. This was from an old raised bed that had been overused, overwatered and left exposed. No mulch, no organic input for months. Plants struggled here, roots barely spread, and water would either sit on top or drain straight through. Instead of rushing to add worms, I focused on reactivating the soil first. I started by lightly loosening the top 3 to 5 inches, not tilling, just opening it enough for air and moisture to move through. Then I added a thin layer, about ½ an inch, of pre-processed compost, not raw waste. This matters more than people think. Then I watered it properly, not soaking it, but bringing it to that consistent wrung-out sponge moisture level. Too wet and you suffocate microbes. Too dry and nothing wakes up. And then I waited. That's the part most people skip. After 48 hours, I checked under the surface. I come and this is where things started to shift. Soil was darker, slightly warmer. You could smell that faint earthy scent coming back. That's microbial activity starting to rebuild. Only then did I introduce worms. I added red wigglers at a moderate density, not dumping a whole colony, just enough to test how the system would respond. Then I covered the surface with a thin mulch layer to protect moisture and give them a safe environment. Now here's where it gets interesting. By day 2 after adding worms, I noticed small castings forming near the surface. Not everywhere, but enough to show they weren't just surviving, they were feeding. By day 4, the soil texture had already started changing. What was once dusty and compacted was now slightly crumbly. If you've worked with soil long enough, you know that texture shift is everything. That's structure coming back. But day 7 is where the real transformation showed up. The soil held moisture evenly instead of drying out in patches. Water infiltration improved. And when I dug just a few inches down, I found consistent worm activity, not just on the surface, but moving deeper into the soil profile. And here's the part most gardeners miss completely. The worms didn't fix the soil, the system did. Worms are amplifiers. They don't create fertility out of nothing. They accelerate what's already happening. If you give them dead soil, they fail. If you give them active organic matter and microbial life, they multiply the results. This is why you'll see 2 gardeners using worms with completely different outcomes. One sees massive improvement, the other sees nothing. It's not the worms, it's the setup. Now let me show you what actually made the difference here, because this applies whether you're working in raised beds, containers, or even hydroponic systems with organic inputs. First, the quality of your organic matter matters more than the quantity. Raw kitchen scraps thrown directly into soil can create anaerobic pockets. That leads to bad bacteria, foul smells, and root stress. Pre-processed material, like what you get from controlled composting, breaks down cleanly and feeds microbes immediately. Second, moisture consistency is everything. Worms don't survive in extremes. If your soil swings from dry to soaked, they either go dormant or die off. Keeping that stable moisture level is what allows both microbes and worms to work together. Third, surface protection changes the entire system. That thin mulch layer I added wasn't just for looks. It stabilized temperature, reduced evaporation, and created a microclimate where worms could stay active longer. Bare soil kills momentum faster than people realize. Now here's something I didn't expect. Plant response started showing faster than usual. Within about a week, seedlings planted in that same bed showed stronger early growth compared to untreated sections. The leaves were just a bit darker and the stems a little thicker. It's not like you get dramatic overnight results, but honestly, it's noticeable if you know what to look for. And, this is where a lot of gardening advice tends to go wrong. Folks chase after quick fixes, fertilizers, additives, shortcuts, without actually fixing the biological foundation. But once the soil system is working, everything else just becomes easier. Watering is more efficient, nutrient retention improves, and roots really start to expand naturally. Even in container gardening, I've seen the same principle apply. You can't just throw worms into a pot with sterile mix and expect results. You really need that organic cycle happening first. In hydroponics, it's different, but the lesson still holds. Systems that incorporate organic teas or biologically active inputs perform better when there's a controlled breakdown process behind them. It's not about adding more, it's about adding the right form. Now, if you're thinking about trying this yourself, don't rush the process. The biggest mistake I see is people adding worms too early and assuming they'll fix everything. They won't. You have to build the environment first, even if it's just a couple of days of preparation. And if you're serious about getting consistent results, start paying attention to what you're feeding your soil, not just how much. That alone will change how your entire garden performs. If you're into real, tested gardening methods like this, subscribe to the channel. This is the kind of stuff that actually moves the needle, not surface-level tips. Because at the end of the day, gardening isn't about adding more inputs. It's about understanding how soil, microbes, and plants actually work together. And once you get that right, even dead soil doesn't stay dead for long. If this helped you see soil differently, share it with someone who's still struggling with, why nothing works, and I'll see you in the next one.